All right, so we're going to wrap up this monster section 5 with the practice questions. A little bit different than what we've done before. So I thought in this section, it's more important for us to have a volume of questions, right? To see what kind of questions we can expect. So because of that, I think the trade-off is that we won't spend quite as long going through analyzing each question. We've had a lot of practice doing that. We'll still have more practice with doing that in the future. I just don't want the practice question video to be too long for you. So, okay, let's get started. When are optimal landing mechanics first taught? So think about this. We know the landing is going to be what happens in the stabilization level. So we see the board plyometric here, right? But this is out because it's plyometric power. We have to learn the landing when we learn how to jump, and that's in stabilization. So I intentionally put this one in here that we could see that it is reactive stabilization, right? They could have called it plyometric stabilization and it would still be the right answer. Okay. To move with efficiency, forces must be dampened, stabilized, and then accelerated. This concept is defined as, so what is that the definition of? Remember, that is our integrated performance paradigm, not to be confused with the integrated training paradigm. That's going to be like flexibility, core, balance, etc. All of those things together. And the first one, the OPT model, no, this is, that is just like the levels and phases, right? So it's not that either. Okay. A client performs a standing cable row followed by chest press, barbell squat, and tuck jump. This is an example of, so this is the first thing that I would do is look at the order to rule out peripheral heart, where it's going to alternate upper body, lower body. So we see chest press, we see cable row followed by chest press. So even though it's two different muscle groups, it's upper body, upper body. So that means that this is out, right? Because it does not alternate. Okay. So what are we left with? Horizontal loading, vertical loading, drop set. So it's not a drop set, right? Because it doesn't mention weight. So it's never going to be drop set or pyramid unless they're talking about weight changes, reps, that kind of stuff. So we're really only picking between horizontal and vertical. This happens a lot. But if they did it, and a lot of times you might also, like, let's just add this here because you can see it this way, but it would be possible that they would also add like in a sequence, right? Something that lets you know that it only means that we're doing the first set of each, okay? So you want to be ready for it even if they don't say that, but we'll add it there in italics because there's a good chance you'll see it that way. So anyway, what this is saying is row, chest press, squat, tuck jump, repeat. So we can see that we're creating that vertical line, set one, set one, set one, set one. So that's going to be our vertical loading. Now, if it said that they completed all sets of a standing cable row followed by all sets of a chest press, that's different. That would be horizontal. Okay, here's an example of something from the resistance exercise library. So we didn't, if you remember in the beginning, when we were just getting up and running, that was not the right time to start doing practice questions. So that material that we covered in the start here's is fair game for the questions here. We need to have them in some place. So this is where they belong. A prone ball triceps extension is an example of what kind of exercise. So we need to remember the formula, identify the muscle group, and then the level. So number one, ID the muscle group, then number two, ID the level. So we know, okay, well, we should definitely know it's a triceps exercise, right? And because it has the ball, it's going to be stabilization. So anything that's stabilization level will be ball or single leg. Which of the following is an example of a speed, agility, and quickness drill for seniors? All right, so remember when we're thinking youth, we look for the kid ones. So that would be like A, B. D is going to be for the weight loss people, the circuit. No, I think I said the wrong letters here. B, C for the kid ones. Red light, green light, follow the snake. D goes for the weight loss people. Seniors, remember, we're looking for activities of daily living kind of things, right? So it's going to either be this or it's going to be like the hurdle step over. So look for, think ADLs, activities of daily living. What are proper front side mechanics during sprinting? So think of that picture. Everything is bent. Which one matches that? We are looking for triple flexion. So flexion, flexion, flexion. There's only one that is going to do that for us. And that is A. Now, if you look at B, when we're sprinting, everything is in the front back direction, right? There's never going to be anything with abduction, anything with rotation. There shouldn't be, at least. Everything should be straightforward. So it's only going to be joints getting closer, joints opening up, flexion, extension. All right. So anything like, look at this C and D. These are ones that you might see inversion, eversion. No, we want everything straightforward, flexed or extended. So here's a different way that we could see that question. What position is used in sprinting backside mechanics, right? So here, this is why I said we want to know the front is triple flexed, the back is triple extended, but we need to know at each joint because we might only see one of the joints. So here we're thinking triple extension, but we look down and we see hip flexion. No. We see knee adduction. Absolutely not. So we're like, okay, we're between the ankle, but we know that it has to be ankle extension. So if you got this in an easier way, it would be knee extension, hip extension, right? You'd be picking with those joints, but I made it the hardest it could be just so that we would be ready for this question. So this is where we come to that alphabetical order. Front side D comes before back side P. So the extension at the ankle is B, plantar flexion. Extension. Right, so everything is extension. So we're still going to write the same thing here, triple extension. And because the ankle is extended, right? It just has a word that we don't like for that. All right, what is the typical duration of a general warm-up? Doesn't matter if it's general or if it's specific, it's always going to be 5 to 10 minutes. A specific warm-up includes what type of exercises? So remember, that was the one that would be more of the athletic warm-up. So that's where we're going to be doing the dynamic flexibility. A stage 4 cardio workout includes which zones? Remember, the stage number tells us how many zones are in it. So if it said stage 1, zone 1. Stage 2, zones 1 and 2. Stage 3, 1, 2, 3. And here, stage 4 is going to be 1 through 4. So the stages are just going up and down between the zones. What zones are available to include in that workout? Okay, during what stage of cardio training are intervals introduced? Okay, so this is an important thing because, this should say stage 3. Once we hit stage 3 and stage 4, we're still doing intervals, right? They're going to be higher intensity stuff, but that's not where we introduce them. Stage 1 was that just all that like low intensity stuff. Stage 2 is when we started to bump it up to zone 2, right? So that's where we introduce the changing between 1 and 2. Okay, what is the proper order to structuring tempo?